Chapter 1. Laying Plans. Sun Tzu said, "The art of war is of vital importance to the state. It is a matter of life and death, a road either to safety or to ruin. Hence it is a subject of study, which must not be neglected. The art of war, then, is governed by 5 constant factors, which must be considered before entering into a conflict. These are the moral law, heaven, earth, the commander, and method and discipline."
Thanks for coming back. This is going to be the first section in our look at Sun Tzu's The Art of War. We're just going to look at the first chapter today. For those who aren't familiar, give you a little background. Sun Tzu was a Chinese general from the 5th century BC, and he was very successful in the battlefield. And he had a very set system that he followed. And he was very successful with it, like I said, and he ended up passing it down and writing it down in a book, treated The Art of War. As far as Sun Tzu himself, not a lot is known about him. There's some debate whether he actually was a person at all, or if he just was a like a myth, or just a legend, or many people put together. So there's a lot of speculation on that. So that's not important. What's important is the work Art of War was put down. It's been used countless times. It became actually really popular in the 19th and 20th century. It was picked up by the West and implemented in all sorts of things. Like a lot, usually on the battlefield as well as like in the business room. So we're going to try to take the same ideas and see if we can apply them to wrestling too. Or fighting. We have some fighters who like to watch this too. So the first chapter, though, laying commands, is looking at, for the most part, 5 factors. The commander, heaven, earth, moral law, and method and discipline, which counts as 1. They're kind of separated into also 3 subcategories to help you a little bit. Yourself, external factors, and internal factors. So let's look at the commander. Sun Tzu says that's one of the factors before going to war you have to look at. And that will be most likely yourself. This works if you're a coach, and if you're at the individual level, just the athlete. So you look at you need to size up your strengths and your weaknesses. So let's say that you're really good at you're in really good shape. You've got good takedowns, but you are new to the sport, so you don't have the confidence you need. Okay? You can kind of list things. Well, that's for example. You can look at your opponent now too, or wherever you're going to compete against. What are they doing? How is their technique? How is their conditioning? Things like that. So you have to compare and contrast your strengths and weaknesses against your opponents. Kind of chart it up and see where you're at. If you're standing with more strengths and weaknesses, you're sitting pretty good. If you have weaknesses, you got to work on that a little bit. Next part, like I said, was external factors. We call that heaven and earth, are the 2 of them. Heaven's going to be kind of the variables. What's going on? Like Sun Tzu used like the weather, but we can even look at things like fashion or trends. So what's going on in the sport of wrestling right now? And it seems like kind of a strange concept, but what are some things that are always changing? And like I said, it really depends on where you're at, as well as the style is too. So we have to factor in probably your equipment, like what you've got to use, is a good example. And then you've got the earth, which is going to be another external factor. That's going to be, Sun Tzu used geography, but it's probably going to be, for you, it'll be the rules and laws. You have to look at what you can do within the sport of wrestling, like how to kind of weight properly, using sweatsuits, the actual rules while you wrestle. So factor in if you're wrestling Greco, versus freestyle, how you're training for that. The last two are going to be internal. The last 2 points are going to be internal. It's going to be moral law and method and discipline is one. Moral law is basically your gut check. Like, you have to believe in yourself. Like, do you believe in yourself and what you're doing is right? Do you think you deserve to win? Have you earned the right to win? And that's pretty self-explanatory. Hopefully you'll be doing that. But also, you've got, of course, method and discipline is going to be, Sun Tzu looks at as your organization skills. Your time management. Did you put in the effort? Did you work hard in the practice room? Did you go to practice often? Did you do your homework, essentially? And that's pretty much the main goal with this chapter, is making sure you're doing your homework before a competition. You don't just walk in not knowing what's going to happen. If you look at all these factors, you should have a pretty good idea how you're going to do. And hopefully, if it all stacks up in your favor, you'll win. So, that looks at the first chapter. We're going to move on to the next one next week. If there's any other questions, feel free to let me know. And if not, take care. We'll see you later.